Ahead on NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
We've traveled across the country to bring you a closer look at farms and ranches all over America. We'll share some of our day in the life stories next.
And now a special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen with host Kevin Oxner.
Hello and welcome to this week's special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Oxner. Thanks for joining us. Each week we have an opportunity to visit farms and ranches all across America. And this week we're revisiting some of our favorite day in the life stories. Let's take a look. The job of serving as the volunteer leader of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association is a big one. The new NCBA president is Bob McCann of Victoria, Texas. Let's learn a little more about Bob and his family ranch in South Texas.
It's just before dawn in South Texas, and Bob McCann is saddling his horse in the early morning fog and preparing to move some cattle with his crew. Bob oversees the cattle and the hunting and wildlife operations for his family's company, McFadden Enterprises.
My great-great-grandfather founded this ranch in 1877. He put the property together. And so I am fifth generation of our family to manage the ranch. It's a very unique operation here in that we operate on about 3 different counties. We have 2 ranches here in Victoria County that are what you would call the coastal plains, and we have another ranch south of here that's a lease ranch that our family has leased since 1932. We're pretty far south down here as far as the United States goes, so we've been able to make it work for a long time.
McFadden Enterprises includes combined acreage that can support anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 head depending on rainfall and forage availability. The ranches are stocked with commercial crossbred cattle. My grandfather started our particular breed of the Brayford cattle, which is a 3/4 Hereford, 1/4 Brahman, crossing Hereford bulls on Brahman cows. So the 3/4, 1/4 breed was what we found to be the, kind of the best cross for our part of the country here. And as you can see, our cows really look a lot like a Hereford animal and have a lot of the Boss Taurus qualities about them. Bob studied range science, so properly managing brush and all of his ranch's resources has always been a priority, and one of the main reasons McFadden Enterprises has been able to stay in business for so long.
We've seen our cattle operation really grow and improve because of the improvements that we've invested in for the ranch. I want this place to be in as good a condition as I can leave it for the next generation, for my children, for my cousin's children, our family's operation. And if it's in good condition, if it's a productive environment, it's going to be a profitable environment.
Beef industry advocacy is not new to the McCann family. They've been leaders in the Texas cattle industry for several generations, and Bob is a past president of the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association. But the role of president of NCBA offers a different challenge as Bob gets a chance to represent cattlemen at the national level.
My grandfather served as president of the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers, as did his uncle, my great uncle, and my father was a director in that organization, and I served as president of that organization about 10 years ago. And kind of during that time is when I got involved with National Cattlemen's. It's been really humbling to be able to kind of follow up in my family's footsteps in that regard. And I kind of grew up in that environment, going to a lot of the cattlemen's meetings, and so it was kind of a natural progression for me. And so I've really enjoyed a lot of the advocacy work and working with the different committees and just kind of having dialogue with different cattlemen around the country is really been enjoyable for me. It's a great honor for me, and it's a great honor for my family, and to be involved with an organization like NCBA that has just wonderful people involved.
Bob and his wife Julie have 2 children, Robert and Mary, and that family support will be critical. As NCBA president, Bob expects to spend as many as 300 days on the road, visiting with his fellow cattlemen and women.
It's a big treat for me to go out to these state affiliates and be able to visit with cattlemen in different parts of the country, kind of see how they run their operations, and I feel it's given me a whole lot better outlook on what the needs are of our cattle industry going forward. I'm really thankful that I have some family here that will help out. Although my son is still in college, he's down a lot. My father is still around. He's 83 years old, but he still keeps a pretty good eagle eye on what's going on at the operation. And I've got some good help working for me. With the communication technology we have today and cell phones and computers and things, I think it's certainly something we can strive to get done.
Bob's knowledge of the cattle industry, both in the U.S. and internationally, will be a huge advantage as cattle producers look to open up more foreign markets for U.S. beef.
We're enjoying some really good markets right now, and we hope to see that continue. But a lot of what's driving some of the good market we're having right now is our international market. And I think we've got great opportunities ahead of us with opening some new markets. We've got some really good markets open right now that are growing, and there's a lot of consumers of our product that live outside of this country. So we need to continue to focus on that. I think that's a great opportunity for us.
Bob is also passionate about helping young producers get started in the industry, and he knows the value of getting them involved in organizations like NCBA at an early age.
Those people have a lot of energy. They got a lot of passion for this industry. They've got some great ideas, and we need to make sure that we give them the opportunity to be able to be part of everything we do, I think, at NCBA. And they are the generation that are going to be able to relate to a lot of our consumers, possibly better than some of us older guys can. Plus, we need to have those people coming back into the industry, into our business. And whether it's our own children or someone else's children, it's important that we get young people coming back into the cattle industry.
Bob feels good about NCBA's place in the beef industry. He's a believer in the value of cattlemen joining together and knows that NCBA can play an important role in unifying the industry.
It's a great opportunity to be able to have dialogue with fellow cattlemen and be able to formulate policies that we as cattlemen can come together and agree upon as the best pathway forward for our industry. I've always felt that cattle industry is always going to have a tremendous amount of challenges, has forever and ever, but there's always going to be a lot of opportunities there. And the opportunities will be different through the years, but I see this in the next few years as us having a lot of opportunity. And if we can overcome our challenges, I think we've got a great future ahead of us.
You're watching NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen on RFD TV.
No storm is too powerful for new Purina Wind and Rain Storm Minerals, formulated with ultimate weather resistance. That means more minerals in the feeder and available to your cattle. Wind and Rain Storm Minerals provide more consistent intake and balanced mineral nutrition to optimize herd health and breedback rates. See the difference at your local Purina dealer or visit cattlenutrition.com. Wind and Rain Storm Minerals, another way Purina is building better cattle.
New Holland is the undisputed leader in hay tools. We give farmers a wide range of innovative equipment that increases efficiency and productivity all year round. Because to us, smart means providing a smooth, clean cut with faster dry down, plug-free conditioning, and superior bale density. And smart means leaving less hay on the field to feed more livestock in less time. The gold standard has been raised. Visit nhfirstcut.com for a chance to win a 1-year round baler lease.
Welcome back, and thanks again for joining us. As California continues to deal with severe drought, the state's cattle producers have to come up with creative ways to continue to be profitable. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Russell Nemitz introduces us to one operation that adds value to their operation by combining wine with cattle.
It's not every day you see cattle grazing and grapevines growing on the same operation, but Sonoma Mountain Herefords is unique. This registered seed stock operation is in a part of California that's more often recognized for outstanding wine. The Cundy Estate has long been home both to great vineyards and to Hereford cattle. Jim and Marcia Mickelson credit their kids with helping to keep the family in the cattle business.
Sonoma Mountain Herefords came about 15 years ago when we purchased my wife's family's Hereford cattle, and our children were showing cattle in 4-H when they were about 8 and 9 years old. And through purchasing my wife's family's cattle, we've grown the operation into about 175 mother cows today.
It is a family operation. It's my husband and myself, and we have 2 children and a daughter-in-law that are involved. So very much hands-on and keeps us very busy.
Today, in the midst of the severe California drought, Bobby Mickelson and his wife Heidi are keeping their herd in condition by feeding hay. Hereford was the breed of choice for Marcia's father, and that tradition continues today.
History of Herefords in our operation go way back. My dad was started a Hereford herd with an FFA project back in about the 1940s, and started developing his herd and had registered Herefords, and then I got the bug. I like them because they're not only are they docile creatures compared to other cattle species, I think they produce a very high quality product for the American consumer.
The breed is a breed that you can get out and be in and be around and not have to worry about having problems with cattle that have an attitude. And the Hereford breed is one that is real strong in docility and easy to be around.
At Sonoma Mountain Herefords, the top priority is to raise high-quality bulls for commercial cattlemen. Marcia and Jim believe the mountain conditions where the animals are raised prepares them to perform for their customers.
Our bulls are mountain-raised bulls, part of Sonoma Mountain, and so they're not fed in a feedlot situation, so they have to travel to get their food and water, and we make sure that they get out and travel the way we set up where we water them and where we feed them. So they're moving, they're very sound on their feet and legs, and I think that's an important part of where we sell our bulls, because they're going to go out in the mountains to go breed the cows, and they've got to have good legs underneath them.
We really work hard on quality of cattle, feet and legs starting at the ground up, great udders, moderate frame cows. The way we're going to make our living is selling bulls to go out and breed in these commercial cow herds, and in order to do that, they've got to be able to perform for them. So we spend a lot of time in selecting sires. We AI here, so we spend a lot of time in looking at EPDs, looking at tenderness, a lot of the things that are available to us today, and really try and put together a good quality product that will benefit us as a breeder as well as the people that are buying replacement stock from us.
Stewardship of the land is another priority at Sonoma Mountain Herefords, and the Mickelson family's efforts have positively impacted both cattle and grape production.
The winery operation farms about 750 acres of varietal wine grapes. They're in the Sonoma Valley, and the entire ranch, which is 1,850 acres, our home ranch, is not all covered with vines, so there is a large portion of it that is pasture land and grasslands and woodlands, and so we utilize the open space for the cattle. The cattle play a vital role in our sustainability. You know, we utilize the cattle for natural fertilization on the fallow grounds. When we tear out a vineyard, the cattle would be put in there and they graze off the fallow land. And we also use cattle waste in compost for our vineyards. So it kind of all is has a very symbiotic relationship between the vineyards and the cattle.
The property, as she'd said, is sustainably farmed. And part of that farming practice is bringing the consumer right onto the property. And they get to see the cattle grazing in amongst the vineyards. And that exposure to the consumer, I think, has really done a lot to promote the beef industry and to promote the marriage of cattle and wine, that people, when they leave the winery, really feel like, I want to go get a good steak someplace and enjoy it with a good bottle of Cab or Zin, a good red wine.
Grazing and grape growing have been intertwined at Sonoma Mountain Hereford since the 1950s. And working together, the Mickelson family has found the winning combination to produce great wine and great tasting beef.
As far as Sonoma Mountain Herefords go, I like to think that we produce a very honest product with a lot of integrity. I think it's a very high quality product that I think the consumer will always be happy with when they sit down at their meal in the evening time with their family.
Being in this cattle operation really came out of something that we could do together as a family, and we've really enjoyed it and live it every day. It's been a lot of fun for us.
Reporting from Sonoma, California, I'm Russell Nemitz for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Sure, cattle bring in the profits, but Case IH equipment helps you do everything else.
I have never wanted to do anything other than be in the cattle business. We use Triangle on the cows because it's been safe and effective and it's done us a good job. We're asking these cows to do more, so that has been a change. We have had just phenomenal results. We have very, very little loss. 100% of our cattle get vaccinated with Triangle.
Sure, cattle bring in the profits, but Case IH equipment helps you do everything else.
Welcome back to Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Ochsner. Each year, the National Golden Spur Award recognizes outstanding contributions to the ranching and livestock industry. The 2013 winner is John Means, a former president of the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Scott Hoke brings us a closer look at this award-winning operation.
Nestled in the mountains of far west Texas, the Means Ranch Company is a family-owned cow-calf operation that traces its roots back to 1884. John Means and his wife Jackie are the fifth generation to live and work in this part of the Lone Star State. Although the Means family used to raise Highland Herefords, Angus has been the ranch's breed of choice for 60-plus years.
We've just kind of tried to make a living for a long time ranching here in the desert, and that's basically what we do. I mean, you don't see wind towers, you don't see oil wells. It's been a ranching operation.
The Means family first ventured into West Texas with a small herd of cattle in the early 1880s. It took them 2 tries. The first time, John's great-grandfather was greeted by a tribe of Comanches who offered an interesting trade. They would spare his life if he would hand over the cattle.
And he's, of course, gave him the cattle, and they turned around and went home with nothing and started over, got a second herd, and that time came with his sister and brother-in-law and their children, and the 2 families made it all the way to the Davis Mountains. But Gramp, as he was known, is supposed to have famously said, "It's the easiest decision I ever made in my life."
Then my grandfather started here after my great-grandfather, and he passed away in '61. Then my father was here, basically running the operation. He passed away in '74, and then I have been here ever since, Jackie and myself, for the majority of those years.
With the constant threat of drought, John says ranching in West Texas is an art, not a science. Protecting what previous generations of Means men and women put together has always been a priority, and John knows being a steward of the land is key to success.
The cattle go hand in hand with everything you do. You're more prone to wildfire, Your grasslands aren't as healthy if they're not grazed and trampled. It's all a process of nature. And when you take the cow out, you've taken everything out. And plus, I think more importantly, or as importantly, I don't think we can sustain these large acreages that we're fortunate still to have in West Texas if we don't have cattle.
John told me when I was engaged to him that he really felt that he was the steward of this land. He said, "It's not mine, I'm a steward, and the one thing I want to do is turn it over in better shape to my children than I received it." And what I'm really proud of John is that he's kind of like, you know, nothing I do is cast in stone. I'm all about innovation, so any ideas that you have, let's try them, and it's been fun to see.
Truly, if I believe anything, I believe we were put here to be stewards, period. Of the land, livestock, our families, everybody. You know, that's probably my most profound belief.
John's passion for the beef industry is easy to see. In 2007, he was elected president of the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association, where he played a key role in protecting the interests of his fellow ranchers. He also serves on the board of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association and is a member of many other organizations.
It's been huge for me and for Jackie and for our family to be able to represent the industry, and we don't take that lightly. I know Jackie and I don't, and I hope that we've been able to make a difference in a small way, because it's truly been a passion for us to serve, and it's just been an extraordinary thing to be able to meet so many fine people, and there's not any finer people in the world than the cow people. And to be associated with them and to be able to represent them has been a huge honor to me.
For John, raising cattle is more than a business. It's a way of life. Not only does he want to be profitable, but together John and Jackie work hard to preserve the ranch for future generations, including their children, Lizzie, Coley, and Sarah.
Jackie and I have been very fortunate to have raised 3 really fine children. Continuing with this heritage is something I definitely think about, but it's something I'm not put pressure on my kids to do. You know, I want them to do that on their own accord. And I think we're blessed that they want to do so.
They all love it, all the kids are involved, all are part owners and like to be involved. And we've been blessed to be able to stay in business and to make it work financially well enough that we should be able to secure it to the next generation. And yes, it has taken a lot of careful management and stewardship of the grass and the cattle and the people and all things in order to make that happen.
Absolutely, faith in God has played a big part, and we're very blessed to come from a Christian family all the way through. And I don't think you could stay here if you didn't have a deep faith. You know, it's just it can be harsh, it can be brutal, and not that anything else can't be. But yeah, our deep faith in God is a big part of our lives.
John's faith and his passion for ranching are values he lives out every day. And thanks to his leadership, the Moon Ranch and the Means Ranch Company have not only survived for nearly 120 years, they have thrived. For those reasons and more, this West Texas cattleman is the perfect choice to be the winner of the 2013 Golden Spur Award.
I know that he is very humbled and probably feels like he's not deserving, but I do think that it is a real honor for our whole family and for his forebears who really had a vision and have been able to see that vision to fruition. And John says all the time he's been privileged to be able to do what he loves, which is to ranch. And so I'm really thrilled for him.
I guess there was never a time that I didn't know that's what I was going to do. And I've been blessed to have been able to do that. And it just, I love all of it. You know, I love the cows, I love the land, I love the grass, I love trying to make improvements, I like projects, just anything you can do on a ranch. It's my life. I mean, I love it. That's just me.
Have you discovered self-deworming cattle products? benefits of an effective deworming without all the labor, handling, and stress. Discover Safeguard self-deworming cattle products, ask your local animal health provider, or visit safeguardcattle.com for more information.
Welcome back. From the wetlands of Florida to the mountains of California, producers all across the nation have figured out how to raise their cattle in spite of challenging weather and terrain. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Brian Baxter spends a day in the life of one North Dakota rancher who is determined to raise quality cattle no matter what challenges he's faced with.
We had what my friends coined an old McDonald farm, so we had every species of livestock you could think of.
Doug Beekler is a third-generation rancher and has had a passion for the beef industry his entire life.
I was out helping with chores ever since I was a little kid. There's a picture of me probably when I was 3 or 4 underneath a dairy cow, helping my dad milk cows.
Today, Doug runs Beekler Simmentals and Red Angus in Linton, North Dakota, the same operation his grandfather started back in 1920.
We have mainly Simmental cows because we like the combination of disposition, mothering ability, and phenotype that we get out of the Simmentals. We started raising Simmentals when I was very young. We've had Simmental bulls as long as I can remember, and I've always been drawn to the Simmentals, and so that's what I continued on with when I graduated from college. We did add some Red Angus cows to our herd because some of our customers do like to use Red Angus on their heifers.
Not only do they have the characteristics Doug is looking for, but he also believes Simmental cattle work well in the rugged terrain where his operation is located.
Well, obviously with the more aggressive terrain, we need to have cows that are sound, so soundness is a key factor. We also need cattle that are hardy. The winters here can be pretty severe, so we need cattle that are going to perform in the winter.
Beekler Simmentals has an annual bull sale in February and a female sale in November, and the origin behind their fall sale might surprise you.
We market females to both commercial and seed stock producers with the mentality that any of the females that we sell, we would have no problem putting back into our own cow herd. And the reason we do that is because we simply produce too many females to utilize in our own herd. So we started the sale with the mindset that we could basically produce these females for other operators.
Beekler Simmental strives to raise top quality cattle to ensure each and every customer is completely satisfied. And while they're continually growing their business, they place a high emphasis on quality versus quantity.
We sell about 65 bulls, so we're probably one of the smaller sales up in this region, but we focus on quality cattle that have performance, soundness, great dispositions, and a lot of natural thickness. Right now, we are at about 175 brood cows that we calve out each spring, and we've grown that pretty significantly the last few years. When I first started, I started with about 10 cows, and that was in the year 2000. So in about 13 years, we've grown the herd significantly.
No matter how well their sale days might go or how much their business grows, Doug believes customer service is the #1 key to success.
We believe in good customer service. We stand behind what we sell. We have a philosophy that if we don't want to keep it in our herd, we're not going to sell it to somebody else. Being in the cattle business, sometimes things don't work out how you want. And so we stand behind our cattle if something should happen. I've even given my own herd sires to producers before just to make sure that their cows get bred. So we like to stand behind our cattle, and we're pretty proud of what we produce.
Reporting from Beekler Simmentals in Linton, North Dakota, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
To join Doug Beekler and become a member of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, just give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF or email us at c2c@beef.org.
Every truck can tow a boat. Every truck can climb a hill. Every truck can haul a trailer. But not everyone can say they're the fastest growing truck brand in America. Guts, glory, Ram.
Overcoming adversity is part of the job, and loyalty isn't a word you just use, especially when everything is on the line. You've had good times and stood strong in leaner years. We've always been right there with you. Introducing the John Deere Livestock Loyalty Program. Special savings is our way of saying thanks for investing in John Deere.
Saddle up and make your way to Denver, Colorado for the 2015 Cattle Industry Summer Conference. This is your chance to meet with industry leadership and your fellow cattlemen and women to stay up to date on beef industry trends and policies. Registered attendees will also have access to hot topics at the Issues Forums. Mark your calendar for the 2015 Cattle Industry Summer Conference, July 15th through 18th in Denver, Colorado. Find out more at beefusa.org.
Welcome back. Every day, cattle producers across the country work to improve their herds in order to ensure a more productive, profitable, and sustainable beef industry. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Brad Bulla introduces us to one Kansas family that has invested decades in improving the genetics of their herd in an effort to provide consumers with high-quality beef.
Sandhill Farms is a family-owned and operated Hereford seed stock business managed by Kevin and Vera Schultz. For almost 150 years, the Schultz family has been living on and working this land in south central Kansas.
We have a registered and commercial cow herd of approximately 350 cows. The crop side of the operation is irrigated and dryland corn, soybeans, and wheat.
We have been here since 1867. We actually have the original Homestead Act document here, and so it's just really cool that we've been here so many years, and I really hope that I'm able to keep that tradition going by coming back here also.
The framework of today's cattle program was laid by Kevin's father Ron and grandfather Roy, and Ron still plays an active role in the farm today. Kevin and Vera's children, Brooke, Tyler, and Courtney, are the 6th generation to work on the operation. Although Hereford cattle haven't been around from the beginning, the breed has established a permanent place at Sandhill. Registered Hereford bulls were brought into the program in the mid-1940s, and the registered cow herd was added in the mid-1980s by Kevin and Vera.
My grandpa started using polled Hereford bulls back in the 1940s. Through that, Dad and I have maintained that tradition, but making sure that the tradition is quality cattle. And so we have had Hereford cattle on the place for 70 years, I guess. The reason our family has maintained and stayed with Hereford cattle is because of the traits that we feel they bring to the table, so to speak.
We've continued to use them and breed them and make them better because of some of the things like their feed efficiency and their docile attitudes, and we just really enjoyed making them better and learning how to breed them.
And they are really easy to work with. If the whole family's in a pen sorting cattle, you don't have to worry about somebody having to climb up the fence to get away from them. So that's one of the good things I'd like people to understand about the Hereford breed.
We just like the Hereford white-faced cattle, and they're a breed that can be crossed with other cattle and help their cattle too, we feel. So we're here to do what we can to make our cattle better and to help people make their cattle better too.
The Schultz family has worked diligently to improve their registered and commercial Hereford cow herds through sound genetics and solid management practices. Armed with today's technology, as well as the previous generation's wisdom, the registered program has continued to improve year after year, which means buyers come back to Sandhill again and again.
We've got customers that range from coast to coast, and from the north in Canada to the southern states as well. And our goal is to provide genetics that will improve every segment or offer improvement to the segment of the industry that our customers use their cattle for, whether it's the cow-calf commercial program, the stalker feeder operator, the feed yard man, the packer, or ultimately the consumer. And we're trying to raise cattle, or need to raise cattle, that provide profitability and help each segment satisfy what their goals are for their programs.
Through hard work, Sandhill Farms has become one of the top Hereford breeders. That kind of success wouldn't be possible if not for the Schultz family's dedication to the health and welfare of the animals.
If they're healthy, they're going to grow better, and those all add to the profitability and the eating experience.
We go out every morning, and it doesn't matter if it's below zero or if it's 110 degrees outside. We're either feeding the cattle or making sure they have water and everything like that.
Sandhill Farms was founded on the principles of sound genetics and solid management practices, and that combination provides a great foundation for future generations to be involved in the business.
We enjoy having 3 generations working together as a family. It is something we can all go out and do together and relate to each other, ask questions of each other, and value each other's opinion, and it is great to have all 3 generations working towards a similar goal.
We love working with the cattle, and yes, we want to be profitable, but we also really enjoy what we do. Some days might be long, some days it might be cold, but it's just, I love working with the cattle no matter how long the day is.
At Sandhill Farms, I guess our goals are to continue to improve the cattle, to grow our operation, to provide the opportunity for the next generation to live here, raise their families, and be profitable with the cattle business.
It's pretty neat that I'm able to work alongside my grandfather and my father, and then if the Lord willing, we'll continue to be profitable and be able to pass it on to generations to come.
From Haviland, Kansas, I'm Brad Vola for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Do you want to join the Schultz family as members of NCBA? It's easy to do. Just call 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit the website beefusa.org. What do beer, baseball, and beef all have in common? Besides being the ingredients for a great Saturday afternoon, those are just a few of the marketing angles implemented by one registered Angus operation. This unique Maryland operation focuses on raising top quality beef and is also skilled in successfully marketing their product right in their own backyard. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Russell Nemitz has the story.
We feel like we're a family working together, producing high quality beef product, even though we aren't related genetically.
When Dean Bryant joined the Rosetta Farm team nearly 20 years ago, he came with an eye for producing top quality beef.
The quality is important because we want to produce the best eating experience that we can.
Rosetta Farm is a registered Angus operation located in Moncton, Maryland. And while much of the United States is still recovering from drought, Rosetta Farm has received more than the normal amount of rain this year. But not even the weather deters them from producing a high-quality product.
We feel like a high marbling product, which is what our definition of quality is important. And so we do everything we can from genetics through management to maximize the genetic ability to marble. That involves the right feeding programs. We like to have young calf-fed cattle as opposed to cattle that are backgrounded and killed later. We feel like younger cattle will be more tender, which is the other component of quality. And then we use high energy diets to finish the cattle on to help develop that marbling as well.
And despite the wet weather, there's a pretty big benefit to their northeastern location when it comes to their feeding programs.
We have access to high quality byproducts. A lot of the food industry is located here with the Hershey chocolate plant, the Kellogg's cereal processing various other industries, and we particularly tied in with Trogues Brewery, getting their brewery byproducts on an almost daily basis. We can get those products cheaper than we can buy hay, so we feed a lot of those byproducts in the wintertime to supplement our hay, and also in the summer for the pasture.
But there's more to Rosetta Farm than meets the eye. In addition to their registered Angus operation, they also have their own branded beef program, which gives them a highly sought-after local flair.
A lot of people focus on local products now in our area and in a lot of areas of the country, but with having Black Angus beef right there locally, it's a perk for our farm. We are in several restaurants and grocery stores, and we also do a lot of on-farm sales to our neighborhood. People can stop in anytime, Monday through Saturday pretty much, and get beef right at the farm.
We offer a high-quality product that they can add to the store that's local, and right now in this area, local is a big selling point, and it makes them unique and works out quite well for them to differentiate their stores using our product.
Dean's wife Marcia helps market Rosetta beef, and if you think people bypass the ground beef with so many New York strips, ribeyes, and tenderloins for sale, think again.
We have the Rosetta hamburgers, which is our #1 seller, and we call it our steak burger because with the ground beef, we dry age the ground beef for 14 to 21 days.
Most people think hamburger is hamburger, but as part of our quality, we dry age the whole carcass. So even our hamburgers taste like dry aged steak. And that's the product that probably differentiates us the most from other high quality products.
And just on the other side of the freezer doors, their burgers even have a claim to baseball fame.
Cal Ripken has been a lover of Rosetta beef for quite a while, and he approached us about doing a product with us and selling it through our giant grocery stores. So we are doing the Rosetta steak burgers in a box that's called the Cal Ripken burger, and it's a very popular seller.
Cal Ripken Jr. was a Baltimore Orioles player who made it to the Baseball Hall of Fame. He's known best for breaking Lou Gehrig's record for most consecutive games played, and now he helps promote Rosetta beef.
Cal Ripken has been a long-time customer of Rosetta beef, and it was with him being a local sports celebrity, it was a good opportunity to partner and make something like that work.
No matter what cut of beef you're looking for, Marcia and Dean are committed to making sure their customers are completely satisfied.
We get a very good reaction from anyone that has tried our product, and it's once they have eaten a Rosetta product, it's hard for them to turn back to go to any other product. We say once you try it, you'll be hooked, and they're definitely hooked. I want my customers to be very happy with what they're getting, and we always say that we want you 100% satisfied.
That's what our signature is a high quality product.
Reporting from Rosetta Farm in Moncton, Maryland, I'm Russell Nemitz for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
From beef marketing to freedom to operate issues, why not join NCBA in pressing forward on key issues that impact cattlemen by becoming an NCBA member? Just give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit our website. That's beefusa.org. We'll be right back.
Hi there, I'm Joey.
And I'm Rory, and welcome to our farm outside Nashville, Tennessee. When we go to work, whether it's on tour or here at home, we wear the West.
That's right. Whether it's that perfect snap shirt or that perfect pair of boots, when you wear Roper, you wear the West.
Learn more about us, Joey and Rory, and about Roper Western Wear at eroper.com.
Telling the truth and being real and feeding my family a home-cooked meal, that's important to me. That's important to me. And planting the garden and watching it grow.
Hello, I'm Kevin Ochsner, host of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Each week, we travel the country to bring you the latest cattle industry news and information. Check us out at cattlementocattlemen.org or on Facebook and Twitter.
Working your cattle just got easier. Introducing the new Vet Gun delivery system, a new way to apply topical insecticides to your cattle. The Vet Gun lets you remotely treat cattle with effective parasite control, so you can do it from an ATV, on horseback, or just walking among the herd. It's that simple. The proven topical insecticide AML Vet Cap is used with the Vet Gun. It works fast to control horn flies and lice while minimizing stress on your cattle. Fast, easy, effective. Vet Gun. Check with your animal health supplier for availability.
We know who made that hitch. We know who cut the steel, who milled the ball, and who welded the seams. We know who tested, measured, and checked. We even know who thought the whole thing up. We're B&W, and we know your hitch. Because we don't make them halfway around the world. We make them all right here. B&W. Trusted.
Old Duff slept in the bunkhouse in the corner by the wall. Nobody slept beside him. It was self-defense, that's all. His old Duff was a chorus of expulsions in his sleep. It sounded like a freight train going through a band of sheep. His sinuses would vibrate till the quilt slid off his bed. His snores would roar unmuffled like a chainsaw in your head. Alarming exhalations burst in intermittent blasts like dueling trumpets blaring loud enough to shatter glass. Well, the window panes would rattle, and our covers rose and fell. The wood stove was a bellows with each breath that he'd expel. Amidst this raucous tumult, we could hear him changing gears. He'd belch like bullfrogs running, and then a new sound filled our ears. Big bubbles started forming within his swollen paunch and rolled through him unhindered like torpedoes towards a launch. We'd lay in apprehension as we listened to the din in dread of what was coming when the final guns kicked in. Well, the new kid was a rookie, and because the bunks were tight, we had him put his bedroll next to Duffy for the night. He drifted off uneasy, what with Duffy's serenade, but when the cookie crumbled, his whole bedroll came unmade. St. Elmo's fire went dancing. Radiation filled the room. Oh, blew out the lantern. I heard a sonic boom. An eerie echo rumbled. I thought I saw a flash. The kid sat up, electrified, his face as white as ash. What was that? I heard him cry. I think I'm paralyzed. I must be going crazy. I see stars before my eyes. No, you ain't going crazy. The world turned inside out because Duffy's last contortion blew the roof right off the house. This is Back to Black. Come out there.
This is yours, and so is what grows there. Not theirs or theirs, yours. You need this to fight this and this to grow more this. Because the more of this you feed them, the less this you spend on that, which leaves more of this here. Don't let them take this from you. Chaparral takes care of weeds and brush, and that's that.
Set sail for San Diego and the 2016 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. It's the cattle industry's biggest convention with education, networking, and fun that can't be beat. Plus, you can check out the huge NCBA Trade Show, and there will be a special event held on the historic USS Midway. It's the 2016 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show, January 27th through 29th in San Diego. Visit beefusa.org for more.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. It's time now for this week's Legacy Photos, submitted by ranching families from around the country. Let's take a look. You can send us your pictures of your farm or ranch by visiting our website, cattlementocattlemen.org. Include your ranch or farm name and your hometown, and we may use them on a future episode. Well, that's our time for this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you right back here next week on RFD TV.